Bacon, throughout his life, had a love affair with Paris and in France, and in fact, even as a teenager, ran away to Paris because he was drawn there really by the artistic fervour of the city. The sale is taking place very fortuitously around the 30th anniversary after Bacon's death. But of course, Paris and France were places which Francis Bacon was really taken and drawn to. I think it's really through this immersion in French culture that one starts to see the artist that we now know as this pinnacle, if you like, of 20th century art.
Bacon's love of France was, of course, mutual, and he was awarded many important retrospectives, including the key show at the Grand Palais in 1971.
And indeed, directly after the 1971 retrospective, he moved to Paris more permanently, owning a property and a studio in Paris between 1974 and 1987, where some of the works and the artistic ephemera from Majid's collection indeed are sourced from. One of my favourites is this crouching figure painting from 1949, estimated between 3.5 and 5 million euros. Never appeared at auction ever before, and it could well be a self-portrait.
The first thing, of course, we notice when we look at this painting is this figure in the center, this half simian, half human creature suspended in a kind of dark void and hanging precariously on this white rail. This figure lurching in the corner of the canvas enhances a sense of claustrophobia and discomfort, which is already palpable in this piece.
And the great thing about this collection of Majid's is that it includes, from its very earliest dates, a 1929 rug, which was actually made when Bacon was more focused on becoming a designer.
We can see in this rug the influence of Cubist artists in this kind of deconstructed design at the center of the piece. The first of the works on paper is Composition from 1933. This is a work that is torn out of a sketchbook, which has these more figurative elements. And in Corner of the Studio from 1934, we can really see the influence that Pablo Picasso had on Francis Bacon's work, in the fine draftsmanship with ink to the detail of these interior spaces with the easel in the center of the work. Alongside Corner of the Studio, we will also present a postcard addressed to Sir Michael Sadler, one of Bacon's earliest patrons, with a detail of the Corner of the Studio painted in on the card. Bacon was also a fascinating subject in and of himself, and was often in front of the lens of photographers such as Peter Beard, Cecil Beaton, and Don McCullin.
Beyond that, also one has the ability to actually collect works of ephemera. So for example, there is this wonderful plate which has been used as an artistic palette, which came from Bacon's studio in Paris.
Bacon is, of course, infamous for the chaos of his studios. He himself would say, "Chaos for me breeds images." We will include a letter from Francis Bacon to Michel Liéris in the sale. Bacon was an avid reader and particularly admired Liéris. It was Liéris who really introduced him to the right movers and shakers in the French art world and encouraged him to present his works in France. And finally, we will include 3 works from artists that Francis Bacon was close with: Graham Sutherland, Louis Le Brocquy, and Roy de Maistre.
What I think it really is unique about this collection, and very much reflective of Majid, not only as a personality, but I think also in terms of his determination not only to learn about Francis Bacon, but share his huge knowledge and enthusiasm with the broader world, is the fact that he has put together a collection which combines core elements of every part of Bacon's output.